What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to NBA Reloaded. During the grind of lengthy seasons, friendship and fraternity are vital aspects of the NBA lifestyle for basketball players. If teammates spend numerous seasons together and get along off the court, they're likely to become good friends. Players on rival teams might get close as a result of the competitiveness of pursuing the same objectives, but it is off the court where mutual respect triumphs. Here are NBA players who are best friends. The NBA's current bromances involve duos of players that really care about one another. They, like our close friends, make every effort to remain in contact and keep an eye on each other. Before we begin, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen was known for being the Robin to Michael Jordan's Batman. Despite the fact that they both spent years in retirement, this is a pair who will never be apart no matter how far apart they are. They worked effectively as a team, winning several titles and ensuring that winning was always their first objective. On the court, the two players were nearly psychic, interpreting one another's actions. Apart from their on-court synergy, Pippen and Jordan had a more important off-court friendship that most people could only dream of. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. This is perhaps one of the most well-known friendships. It's one that two of basketball's greatest names have in common. Wade even gave up some money to make sure he remained with his brother from another mother since they had a great bromance. These two spend their vacations together, celebrate holidays with their families together, and are almost inseparable. Metta World Peace and Lamar Odom. This is a connection that predates Metta World Peace. In truth, their friendship began when Lamar Odom and Ron Artest, now known as Metta World Peace, were both playing for the Riverside Church in New York City. These two, together with Elton Brand, a fellow NBA star, created a combination that would make the squad one of the finest in town. Both of them, as well as Brand, would end up on the 2010 Lakers championship squad. Kent Bazemore and Steph Curry. Both of these young guys have a strong work ethic and are natives of North Carolina, which makes for an ideal foundation for a strong relationship. Because of their close connection, Bazemore was able to persuade Curry to become a brand ambassador for Under Armour when Curry's contract with Nike expired. To be able to influence each other's money, you must be excellent friends. Although they no longer play on the same squad, the two remain good friends even today. Terrence Ross and Terrence Jones. Many of these basketball connections seem to have strong roots in the past, and for these two, that history dates back to the 6th grade. After playing together throughout high school, the two would both be drafted in the first year. Their goal was to make Portland a basketball destination. Ross has had a more notable career so far, but they both have a desire to improve their city's standing in the basketball world. Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio. When they were both players of the Minnesota Timberwolves, these two ballers started to form a bond. They worked well together and seemed to be the driving factor behind the Timberwolves' playoffs push for a brief time. This was unsuccessful, however, and both players went on to new clubs, but their relationship remained strong even still. While Love was teaching Rubio English, the two connected through history and art appreciation. D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker. These two all-stars have never played each other before, but their careers are only getting started. This relationship began when they were both children. They both attended the Nike Elite 100 Club in St. Louis. The two became inseparable and were constant companions in crime. This includes the time they sneaked out to grab some slushies. They communicate often and frequently tag one another in postings. They even attended a painting session together and drank some wine while letting their inner Picasso out. Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. Gasol showed an interest in helping his fellow tall guy grow out of his evil ways while playing for the Grizzlies. Randolph was seen as a nasty guy by many. In fact, he was always getting himself into trouble. That appeared to alter after he started hanging out with Gasol. Gasol takes pleasure in his cultural awareness, and he started introducing Randolph to art and culture, even bringing him to Europe to get a fresh perspective. They were, and still are, good friends. Jeremy Grant and Victor Oladipo. Playing video games is a frequent method for youngsters to develop friends, and this pair was no exception. Oladipo spent more time at Grant's home than his own since they played so many video games together. He was there so often that he rapidly became a member of the family. They finally moved to various institutions and joined different teams. They played against each other a couple of times in college. The lads didn't play on the same squad until the 2016-17 season. They got along swimmingly, which is expected given that they spend their summers training together in the DC region. Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose. Like many of the other pals on our list, Rose and Westbrook never played on the same team. Despite their hectic schedules, they've managed to maintain a strong relationship. In the off-season, they often train out together and have similar tastes in fashion, video games, and cuisine. Boris Diaw and Tony Parker. These two retired ballers had a lengthy and illustrious past, so it was inevitable that they would become buddies. Both began their careers in France, where they attended the same school and competed for France in both the FIBA competition and the Olympics. They didn't play together until 2012, when they both joined the Spurs. They also got to play together again in the Olympics before they both retired. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. It's possible that this was the first authentic court bromance. For years, these two sports legends were among the top players in the world. However, the majority of people assumed that they were fierce rivals on the court. Nothing could be farther from the truth. In fact, before Wilt's knee was blown out, they both had a great deal of respect for one another and were quite close. Unfortunately, this resulted in a schism. Russell, on the other hand, apologized a few decades later. Russell and his companion spent the remaining few years of his life in the friendship zone. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. These two guys not only have terrific chemistry on the court, but they also get along off of it too. DeRozan is a significant factor, while Lowry has remained put despite a dismal playoff performance. They like teasing one another and just being in each other's presence. It's always beneficial to have a buddy that can make you laugh even when you're depressed. They like making films and sharing them with their followers, as well as trying out new automobiles. Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, and Greg Popovich, the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, have a public relationship. They grew close during Kerr's time as a Spurs bench shooter, and their friendship has grown since then. It's difficult for this pair to keep personal and professional life separate while coaching opposing teams, yet they manage to do so anyway. It's tough because I hate to watch him lose, Popovich acknowledges, and even if we won, which is really unlikely, you'd still feel horrible for him. Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich. This relationship grew out of mutual respect. Both Popovich and Duncan kept their emotions under control. This is a well-known characteristic of theirs. However, they built a close connection over the years as they worked together to bring the Spurs to their current high place in the league. This turned into a father-son connection, and it was evident that Duncan was one of Popovich's favorite people when you saw the two together. When they're not on the court, they text each other often. Well guys, that's all we have for you in today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you don't miss out on our future videos going forward, and if you enjoyed the content, then let us know by smashing that like button right now. Until next time, take care and goodbye.